The Chief Justice Mandisa Maya will host the Constitutional Court and Supreme Court Summit, which gets underway today at the Sandton Convention Centre north of Johannesburg. Now, the J20, as it is known, forms part of the lead-up activities to the G20 2025 Summit to be hosted by South Africa in November. SABC News reporter Canny Maphanga is there. Canny, good morning. And of course, what can we expect from this particular summit? You know, we've seen earlier this week, we had the M20 focusing on media, setting agenda and clear goals to try and influence the narrative moving forward, also the protection of journalists. What can we expect here from the judiciary?
Indeed. Good morning to you, Sakina, and to the viewers at home. As we edge closer to that historic G20 Summit in November, which will be hosted by South Africa, the first African nation to do so, we've seen a number of engagement groups engaging over the year as we edge closer to that event. Now, the judiciary is not exempt from this process, which brings us to this event today, that is the J20 Summit. In a couple of hours, Sakina, you will see the Chief Justices and the presidents of various constitutional courts and Supreme Courts across the globe gather in this room this morning from 10 a.m. hosted by our very own Chief Justice Mandisa Maya, the first African nation to host the J20, and who will lead this particular process that will deal with a number of pressing issues. Now, the theme for this particular summit is justice in a time of change, independence, innovation, and cooperation. We know that the judiciary has to keep up with the times of the day and adapt in dispensing justice in a manner that is suitable for the modernization of the way in which they dispense justice across the globe. So what you can expect, or the key discussions rather, Sakina, that will take place from 10 a.m. after the Chief Justice, that is Chief Justice Mandisa Maya, delivers that opening address, is the topics that will be focused on is promoting judicial independence, which is very important not only for the South African judiciary, but for judiciaries across the globe, that is G20 nations, so that you can promote the global rule of law. They'll also speak about accountability and preserving the rule of law, strengthening judicial security in a changing global environment. They'll also look at the topic of balancing innovation in the field of artificial intelligence. You'll see that in most of these engagement groups, the discussion of AI and how it can be incorporated through those various engagement groups has taken prominence in those discussions as we edge closer to that main G20 summit. Of course, there'll also be discussions on justice and climate and change through judicial cooperation, as well as a discussion on combating cybercrime, strengthening cross-border judicial cooperation. Now, this summit will sit for a week. However, the public leg, that is the leg that we have access to, will begin today. And of course, the closing remarks will end tomorrow with this particular J20 summit giving us their resolutions. But we expect at 10 a.m. this morning, Chief Justice Mandisa Maya will be giving you that opening address. And then, of course, as we go out through the course of the day, we'll be able to discuss those key issues, including artificial intelligence, which will speak to Deputy Chief Justice Dunstan Lambo a bit later on as he elaborates on some of the discussions that will be led here at the J20 Summit. Over to you in studio.
Well, thank you so much, Canny Maphanga, who will be watching those developments for us.